Hello guys, welcome back my YouTube channel. Let's learn English with Khushi. Today we are going to read this book, British poetry maker 1 MA English, and poem number 1, the second generation's romantic poet, and, and the poem name is The Triumph of Life, written by Percy Bussy Shelley. First, let's talk about the author Percy Bussy Shelley. Um, he is the greatest English romantic poet, and if I talk about the important facts, then he was the close friend of Lord Byron, and he was husband of Mary Shelley, and he had his he has some great work. And if I talk about the features of his poetry, then revolutionary idea, love of freedom and equality, deep imaginations and symbolism, philosophical thinking, and the triumph of life was his last poem and remained unfinished. It is dark, philosophical, and complex. It is an unfinished poem, and there are 448 lined, and eh, talking about or maybe introductions to the poem, it was inspired by the Italian poet, um, mm, and and it describes a dream visions, shows how life defeats even great people. Let's understand session wise. And since the poem is long and unfinished, here is a clear session by session explanations. Uh, Opening lines, it is all about the sunrise scene. This poem begins with a bright sunrise. Light spreads over the sky. The speaker wakes from sleep. The sunrise suggests hope and new beginnings, but soon the tone becomes a sunrise and symbolize the process appears. The speaker sees a great crowd of people. They move like slaves. They are chained and controls. These people represent humanity under the control of life. The chariot of life, a powerful chariot, appears. It is driven by a mysterious figure. The figure is blindfolded. The chariot symbolizes the power of worldly life, ambition, desire, power. The blindfold suggests life moves blindly. People follow without understanding. Famous historical figures in the crowd. The poet sees many great people among the defeated crowd. Napoleon, Plato, even a great thinker and leaders are controlled by life, meaning no one escapes ambitions and worldly illusion. Even heroes fail. Appears of Rosie. The poet meets the ghost of Rosie. Rosie tells he once had a pure ideals, but life deceived him. He was destroyed by his own ambitions and weakness. Shelley shows that even idealistic become a corrupted. Meaning of life in this poem. Life does not mean simple living, it means desire, power, fame, ambition, illusion, material success. Life conquers truth and purity. Dark philosophy of the poem. Shelley suggests humans are trapped by illusion. Society corrupted individual. Even revolutionaries lost their ideals. History repeats suffering. The poem becomes increasingly dark and cautioning. The unfinished ending. This poem suddenly stops while Rosie is speaking. The unfinished ending suggests the cautions about life has no clear answer. The struggle between truth and illusion continues. And if I talk about the central idea, then life trumps our human idols, wisdom, freedom through illusion and desire. Now let's talk about the summary of this poem. That the triumph of life is Shelley's last and unfinished poem. It is written written in a visionary, symbolic style. The poem begins with the poet walking in nature at dawn, where everything looks bright and alive. Suddenly, the poet sees a strange vision. A powerful figure called Life appears, riding in a shining chariot. Life moves like a conduit. Behind this chariot is a long processions of poets who are captured and controlled by life. This includes kings, warriors, poets, philosophers, and great thinkers. The poet noticed that these people once tried to follow truth and wisdom, but now they are blinded and defeated by worldly desires, ambitions, poem, illusion. Life does not destroy them physically, instead, it enslaves their minds. The poet then meets the spirit of Jean Rossi, who explains that he too was once a seeker of truth but was finally defeated by life. Rosie sees that even the greatest mind can't easily escape the illusions of life. The poem suggests that human beings are weak before the forces of life. Reason, imaginations, and ideals often fail against ambitions, material desires. The poem ends suddenly because Celie died before completing it, which adds to its sense of mystery. Now let's talk about major themes of this poem. Illusion reality versus reality, corruption of ideals, power of ambitions, human weakness, disappointment in history, philosophy, pessimism. If I talk about symbolism in the poem, symbol and meaning: sunrise, hope; chariot, power of worldly life; blind driver, blind ambitions; chains, slavery to desire; processions, humanity; and the central idea. Let's talk about little bit central idea. The poem shows that life conquers everyone, even great philosopher fails. Human beings are slaves to ambitions and illusion. True freedom is difficult to achieve. It is Shelley's most philosophical and pessimistic poem. Why it is important? It's a Shelley's last major poem. It shows his mature philosophical thinking. It questions romantic idealism. It reflects deep disappointment in humanity's. And yeah, that's all in this videos. So thank you. Stay connected.